last Sunday, Tyler Reddick won at Talladega, the 28-year-old. That was his first career win at Talladega. Overall, that was his sixth NASCAR Cup Series victory. What was so great about that was that Michael Jordan obviously came at the end right there to greet him. And that little boy, Tyler Reddick's son, he's gonna have a memory of a lifetime, to have the GOAT, Michael Jordan, carry him. And it was all smiles. It was great for the sport. It was beautiful to see. So I was going to make a content just about last Sunday's Talladega event. But then decided I'm gonna mention this, and then I feel like making a movie review, a movie that's about driving or NASCAR, etc. So then the first one that popped into my head was Talladega Nights, starring Will Ferrell, directed by Adam McKay. Those two together, they work so well together, director and actor together, even producing stuff together. I'm not the biggest fan when it comes to Will Ferrell movies, but this is one of the three Will Ferrell movies that I enjoy watching. This one, Anchorman, and Elf. Talladega Nights, yes, it's comedy, yes, it's sport. Yes, I do like the movie. However, there's a lot of parts of the movie that, that could have been better, and I feel like certain things that could have been taken out. Certain things worked, certain things didn't. So, but I'll address that in a few. It has a solid cast because you have Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly, which they've worked before on other projects like Step Brothers, Amy Adams, Jane Lynch, Michael Clark Duncan, rest in peace. Sacha Baron Cohen, who's the villain in this movie, as Gene Gerard. So Will Ferrell, who plays Ricky Bobby. I mean, first off, right from the beginning of the movie, there's the opening scene. I didn't like the opening scene. The movie should have started, in my opinion, with him being in the classroom. But to open up the scene of Ricky Bobby's parents, driving because his mom was about to give birth, etc. I feel like that opening scene, it was not necessary. If it were me, I would start the movie off with him being in the classroom and his father coming into the classroom. Ricky Bobby and Ricky Bobby's father, they have basically, for the most part, a strange relationship because the father is barely around. But when that scene ends, Ricky Bobby's father tells him, if you ain't first, you're last. But then later on, towards late Act 2 or about to enter Act 3, Ricky Bobby learns, because his dad confessed to him, that he said that quote because he was high. So for so many years, Ricky Bobby lived by that quote: if you ain't first, you're last. Just like what the shirt say. And by the way, I waited for this shirt to arrive to make this movie review, but yeah, I just feel like saying that. One of the scenes that I found cringeworthy about this movie is when Ricky Bobby gets into an accident and he thinks he's on fire, and then he just strips himself. Basically, he only had underwear on. He did that, I believe, twice in this movie. I found that so corny. I felt like that was unnecessary. I felt that when it came to those parts, I felt like, from a right standpoint, I was trying too hard to make it funny. So, but that's just my opinion. One of my favorite scenes of the movie is when Ricky Bobby, Cal, Ricky Bobby's wife, the two sons, and Ricky Bobby's wife's father, that they're all sitting on the table and they're praying. That scene, For the most part, I like it. Few things, I would have made things differently, but but overall, it's one of my favorite scenes of the movie. Another scene that, by the way, every scene with Ricky Bobby and Ricky Bobby's father, I like all of their scenes, especially when Ricky Bobby's father tries to get him to get rid of that fear while he's driving. So he shows him that tough love, like a father should for their son. So he gives him tough love. He challenges him to become a better driver, to be fearless. So all the scenes with Ricky Bobby and his father, I like them. I like them. Ricky Bobby, he's this NASCAR driver who's on top of the world. He has a trophy wife, which, by the way, he terribly chose the wrong one. He has his trophy wife. He has all this wealth. He's on top of the game, but then he gets tested and challenged by this other driver who's really great, played by Sacha Baron Cohen. The character's name is Jean Girard, and their scenes are epic. But then again, there are certain things that I feel like it was unnecessary about this movie. Certain lines that were unnecessary. There were a few quotes and lines that they were good, like "shake and bake." "Shake and bake" is my favorite one. This one is also a good one. There's a couple of more, but there's just certain things that it was just cringeworthy. Like it sounded corny to me. A lot of things that were being said in this movie were cheesy and so predictable. There's a scene with Ricky Bobby and Amy Adams. Amy Adams, which is like in Act 3. They were at the bar, and again, there were certain lines that Will Ferrell said that I'll be like, okay, I wouldn't say this part. I would just go from here and go straight to that. For that scene to have Amy Adams, going off rant, I don't have a problem with it. But then to have her like get on top of the table and start making out with Ricky Bobby, I felt like that was not needed, was not necessary for her particular character, because she's a serious girl. She likes Ricky Bobby. She's his assistant. But yeah, I don't agree with that. Michael Clark Duncan, I like him in this movie as being part of one of the crew members of Ricky Bobby's team. Now, when Cal, played by John C. Reilly, when he basically steals Ricky Bobby's trophy wife, in real life, I would not accept that at all. You mean to tell me that my best friend, steals my woman and then have the nerve to invite me to a wedding and to tell me, like, we're still gonna be best friends, we're still gonna be this, we'll be that? Hell no. Hell no. I understand that this is comedy and this particular movie is not meant to be taken so seriously, but F no, I will never do that. I will never stick around and be friends with someone that betrays me that way. No way, Jose. No way. So, I get it. It's a fantasy. Like, this is a movie that is not meant to be taken serious, but no way. Not me. I would not accept that at all. Another character that I like in this movie is Jane Lynch. I like her. She plays as Ricky Bobby's mother. And I love that finally stands up to those... I can't even find the words to describe these two little rascals, but Ricky Bobby's two boys, they're super disrespectful. They think that they could tell anyone what to do. They could disrespect anyone. But that's because the parents doesn't give them discipline. But that all changes with Jane Lynch. When she finally puts the hammer down on those two little boys, she's like, nope, not in my house. Not in my house. So, yeah, I like her a lot in this movie. She does a fantastic job. Michael Clark Duncan. Even Ricky Bobby's father, he does a good job in this movie as well. It's a solid cast. cameo appearance, Mos Def. I like him. I like him in Dave Chappelle. I like him as a rapper. But for this particular movie, I feel like he was not needed in the movie. You also had guest appearances like Dale Earnhardt Jr., Darryl Waltrip. But overall, this movie, in terms of, there's a lot of movies that have been made that has to do with driving. You have Talladega Nights, Days of Thunder, which soon I'll be making a movie review about that. Ford vs Ferrari, another one that I liked a lot. I gotta make a video of that as well. There's a lot of them, but in terms of the funniest movie that surrounding NASCAR or driving in general, I will have to say Talladega Nights. So, and if I remember correctly, the movie did very well in box office. This movie came out in 2006. I didn't see it at the time. It took me years and years later to finally see it. But again, this is one of those movies where, yes, it's not meant to be taken seriously. It is meant to enjoy. But I can give a pass on certain flaws that I saw from this movie. So again, certain lines were cheesy, corny, but you can expect that from a Will Ferrell movie. But at the same time, there's some good humor, some good moments in the movie. So, but yeah. So my review for this movie from 1 through 5, I will give it a 3.6 out of 5 stars. Thank you for watching this video. Please hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And as always, be safe. And may God bless you all.